All right, in this email right here, if you got something going on in your life and you want to share with Bert Show fam, you don't know if you're overreacting or not, or if it's shady or not, hit us up at thebertshow.com and let us share in your drama. And in this case, Kristen has an email, and it's sort of like the same one we had in the beginning of the show. Maybe somebody overreacting to a husband or a boyfriend's friendship with a woman.
All right, so hey, Bert Show fam. I'm messaging from England, and I only get the chance to listen to the little snippets that you post on Facebook. So I'm really hoping you get the chance to pick this up and tell me what you do. I've been with my fiance for 2.5 years. To me, he's my absolute wow. I love him like I never thought possible. That said, it's not perfect, and we seem to constantly need to work through things that essentially boil down to me feeling as though he hasn't considered my feelings, or cases where he just doesn't tell me how he feels. I've been insecure for a lot of our relationship, and that caused the expected heartache that you would expect. I guess my main worry is that I'm not his wow, and who wants to feel anything less than wow when you're going to marry someone? The biggest issue I have at the moment is that he is the type of person that likes to stay friends with his exes if he can. That's nice, but it's not something I can personally relate to and definitely hasn't helped my self-esteem issues. When we started dating, I knew he had a friend called Stacy. There were pics of him and Stacy on Facebook that had her calling him her bae, her friends commenting how lucky he was, and even of her visiting him in another country while he was working there. So naturally, I assumed she was an ex and asked the question. He said no, just a friend. Fast forward a year or so, and we are deep in lockdown. My man's beard is scruffy AF because he can't go to the barber, but he posts a rare pic of us on Facebook. Anyway, we go to bed late that night, and his phone rings or pings with a message at 2 a.m. He says it's Stacy, and she's probably drunk or at work. I leave it until the morning and then ask again. That's when he admits that they saw each other casually but didn't consider it a relationship. I asked what she texted, and he said she was teasing him about the scruffy beard. I was upset. To me, that was a flirty, keep me in mind or pay me attention text. I told him, and we had an argument that lasted a couple of days. I felt stupid for just believing that they had only been friends, but trusted he was genuinely being dense and not seeing it as a flirt. Fast forward another year, and she reaches out to me via DM and asks if we want to meet with her and her boyfriend when they are in town. We had never spoken before, and I wasn't interested. So I politely explained that it wasn't something I was comfortable with and that her 2 a.m. text had upset me. She apologized, said she sometimes slips into bad habits and that she wasn't a bad person. I politely ended the chat and left the subject alone. Last week, my fiance was hugely upset, and for the first time in my life, I asked to see his phone. I looked at the messages between him and Stacy and saw that he had recently deleted his text. He told me he does it so I don't see her in his chat list if he's showing me something on his phone, as he knows I find it upsetting. I have commented on it in a year. I haven't commented on it in a year as it's something I'm working on. I told him it was far more sus to delete the text completely. One message he hadn't yet cleared was a midnight text with her on the first night he was away from home. He was hanging with his friends and texted her a pic of them walking down the street captions, lads, lads, lads. He texted me the same pic 2 minutes later, asking how I was.
Ouch.
He and she both think I'm massively overreacting to their friendship and that I should have faith that there's no ill intentions on either side. But for the first time in our relationship, I'm questioning if I can trust his fidelity. We came extremely close to breaking up over the course of a couple of days for this and just generally feeling as though he doesn't consider my feelings. And the day after, she sent him a photo of herself having a great time out with friends. He called and told her not to send more pics. But even if it's just a friend situation, who texts a friend who's having a horrible time a photo of themselves having a great time? That's so cruel. I'd love to get Kristen's opinion, which I value so much. I love the whole team, but Kristen doubly so. Much love, Dana.
Well, you want to take that one?
Oh, Dana, my heart breaks for you. I feel like you're getting manipulated. And it's the situation. This is one of those situations that's getting turned around on you. Like somebody is doing something that you deem wrong, but they're turning it around to make you feel like you're the wrong one in the situation by overreacting. And I feel like you need to put your foot down and finally put a stop to it.
Gaslit. I can tell you from my own experience now and looking back at it, I used to pride myself on still being friends with all my exes, right? It was purely ego. 100% ego. And it did cause tension in my relationship with my now fiance because I don't know why I kept in touch with him. I have no idea. It's not like I was going to hook back up with them or anything. But yeah, I was getting pictures from them also. And Tiffany was like, you know what? I'm really not comfortable with all this. And I had sort of the same reaction, like, this is nothing. These are just exes. And then really talked to my best friend about it. And he's like, dude, why are you even risking what could be with Tiffany over these past relationships? Is it even close? And I'm like, you know what? You're 100% right. So I put up those guards.
I feel like one of the bigger infractions too is that when he is away, his first inclination is to text Stacy before he texts his fiance. And it was like the same picture, the same text, but he felt it was more important to text her first than to text her.
We don't got a lot of time here, so Mo, what would your advice be?
I think she needs to put up some serious boundaries and let him know that she's not okay with it and it needs to stop. And if he can't do that, then I think she has every right to feel the way she feels and leave if she needs to.
What you got, Davi?
It's weird. He sucks.
That's it. That's word economy. Yep. Been working on that for 5 years. It's good.
Not a lot of time.
It's good stuff.
I'm just following the rules.
All right.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show for free. Just listen to The Bert Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.